The scene opens with a giant tree seemingly floating in the sky. Next is a tunnel illuminated by glowing lamps. Okabe's body is covered by a turquoise honeycomb shield. In the real world, sometimes you'll hit a wall. A wall of talent, of race, of the heart. This is the story. His green eyes carry a hint of reflection mixed with coldness. About me, a guy who couldn't do anything but build walls. Liana, with her alluring figure and fierce aura, glances back and says, only to finally let someone break them down. Okabe's eyes suddenly catch sight of something. Liana is no longer just alluring. She's enveloped in a golden light, her hair turning blonde like a super scion, pulling her arm back to strike. The one-horned demon reaches out with its sharp claws, intending to crush Okabe's defense, while Liana gathers power inside. As the shield shatters, Okabe and Liana throw their punches together. Now, Okabe yells with a determined face, while Liana closes in, delivering a devastating punch to the one-horned demon, and moving forward by smashing those walls to pieces. The scene shifts to a classroom as Okabe walks through the door. Okabe suddenly freezes when he hears a pleading voice. Stop it! Dozio is choking Mikage. Okabe slips behind the crowd. Mikage is struggling in Dozio's thick arms. What's going on, Okabe? Okabe grits his teeth in frustration, turning to walk away despite Dozio's shouts. It's nothing. Hey, get back here right now. His arm is grabbed by Kira. Kira swats Dozio's hand away, acting cool in front of the girls. Kira sternly reprimands him. Dozio, how many times do I have to tell you? Stop this bullying crap right now. Dozio acts two-faced, answering Kira while threatening Mikage. We're just messing around a bit, right, Mikage? Why ya? The girls surround Kira, while Dozio fumes in the corner. That's Kira for you. He's so admirable. Kira is the best. Okabe grips his bag strap, lost in thought. This is all your fault, Minato. An image of a crying boy on his knees appears. You blew things way out of proportion. That's why they're being even worse now. Okabe trembles, reaching out in regret. No way. His eyes are filled with despair. I just wanted to stop them from bullying you, to protect you. His eyes flutter open as a girl's silhouette appears, calling out. Koen. Shinomiya, with her purple eyes and a graceful hair flip, calls out. Okabe. He looks as if he just woke up from a nightmare. Her slender, beautiful figure in the school uniform speaks up. Shinomiya. You look like someone who just opened Pandora's box. Okabe scratches his head, playing dumb. No, it's not that bad. I see. Shinomiya turns away, dropping one last remark. That's good. That's how things should be. She walks over to Kira's group. The image of the crying boy pitifully reappears. Nothing good ever comes from meddling and bullying. Only special people. Okabe lowers his head in thought. Can be heroes. Staying out of it is the right answer. The mood is light, but suddenly the room shakes, making everyone tense up. Okabe stands up, bewildered. What the? Damn it. Is it an earthquake? Suddenly, a golden magic circle appears under Okabe's feet. The same happens to everyone else. Are we being swallowed up? The scene shifts. He slowly opens his eyes. Everyone is in a grand palace, with two figures in front of them, one standing, one seated. The students panic and shout. Where the hell are we? What just happened? This has to be a dream, right? We were just in the classroom, and then... A close-up reveals the king and Tan. The king, exuding royal authority, speaks. Thank you all for answering our summons. Everyone is both surprised and fearful at his words. Heroes from another world. Is that right? The crowd murmurs with curiosity. Huh? What's going on? Heroes? Is this? Don't tell me this is one of those cliché ice sky summonings. Suddenly, Kira steps forward confidently and speaks up. What? Everyone quiet. Kira's stern voice echoes. As the class representative, I will hear them out. The king smiles, quite impressed. You maintain an astonishing level of calm. Very impressive for your age. The king tilts his head, ordering Tun. Tun, explain it to them. Tun places a hand on his chest and bows. With pleasure. I am the summoner, Tun. Allow me to explain. A kingdom and a field of flowers appear in an illusion. Then, a fierce orange-horned tiger appears, followed by green monsters, witches, and goblins locked in battle. This world is called Eryx. It is on the brink of destruction. Monsters and demons that prey on humans, and the demon lord who commands them. We have fought with everything we have, but their power is far too overwhelming. Therefore, the scene returns to Okabe and the others being summoned. We used summoning magic to bring you all here. Tun raises his hand, explaining to the bewildered crowd. During your journey across worlds, skills have awakened within you. Kira, keeping a serious face, asks, I understand you're having trouble with these demons, but what exactly is a skill? Tun waves his hand, and a servant brings over a turquoise crystal orb. Kira's face reflects in the orb as Tun holds it. A skill is a special power born from a person's heart. They will become incredibly powerful weapons. Kira reaches out and touches the glowing orb. Now, give me your hand. Kira looks stunned as golden light radiates from the orb. Heh. Tun looks delighted seeing Kira's hand glowing with a golden aura. Magnificent. Your skill is the power of aura. You can control light and repel the darkness. A skill perfectly suited for a hero. Kira smiles confidently as he feels the power. I see. Kira suddenly vanishes, leaving a golden afterimage in front of Dozio and Tun. He slices a stone pillar in half with a sword made of light. Kira holds the aura sword, thrilled. So this is a skill. Dozio and his friend eagerly step up next. Check mine next. Very well. Everyone who touches the orb emits their own unique aura. Shinomiya steps up, her face completely expressionless. All right, next. She focuses on the orb. A golden magic circle appears. So that's how it is. Patterns emerge on the orb in Tun's hand. So that crystal orb displays skills using appraisal magic. Tun smiles in praise. Outstanding. The patterns glow as Shinomiya's eyes widen slightly. It appears to be a rare sage class skill. You will likely master all forms of magic. Shinomiya receives admiring glances from everyone, just as expected from our top student. Shinomiya is amazing. Of course, Lady Yui was bound to get an incredible skill. Is that everyone? Okabe steps up, walking past her. Next, step forward. All right. Okabe looks at his hand, thinking of the crying boy. If I have a skill too, maybe I can finally change. Okabe approaches the orb and places his hand on it. The orb glows, but Okabe is shocked when the light suddenly dies out. He looks at Tun in disbelief. You have no skill. Huh. You possess absolutely no skill. Okabe is stunned into silence. What? Tun glares at the orb. No skill. To put it bluntly, you are just. Tun looks at him with fierce, red eyes. Trash. Okabe's devastated face reflects in the orb, surrounded by mocking laughter. Trash. He's the only one? That's hilarious. Okabe drops to his knees. That's. The king, sitting majestically on his throne, speaks up. Regardless, it seems the rest of you have received your own powers. In that case, let us move on to. The king looks imposing as images of treasure and crowns appear, stoking their greed. The matter of the demon lord. You shall receive treasure and power. Whatever you desire, we will provide. Tun raises his hand and speaks. Anything? We are truly that desperate. Tun extends his hand with a solemn face. For the future of this world, do you promise? Kira and the others look a bit hesitant. To fight alongside us. It seems. Kira summons his sword and rallies everyone. We really don't have a choice. The scene shifts to the Grand Castle, with the group led by Tun. Thank you all. Now then, allow me to show you the demons you will be fighting from now on. In an arena, a demon is locked in an iron cage, guarded by two knights. The demon has long purple hair and vicious red eyes. This is the demon you will face. Everyone readies their attacks. Let's try killing it first and see how it goes. I wanted to test out my skill anyway. The demon roars aggressively. And now, Okabe looks up at the sky in shock. What is that? Warriors riding flying monsters dive down. We're under attack. Dozio's group gets excited. So this is the tutorial phase, huh? Leave it to me. Dozio's arm turns black as he punches a crater into the ground. Enhancement. I'm way stronger than before. He raises his enhanced arm, his face twisting with adrenaline. Take this. Kira calms the panicking students. Everyone, calm down. Keep a cool head and handle this carefully. A warrior riding a blue dragon charges straight at Okabe. The distance closes rapidly. Okabe's face turns pale with terror. Damn it. I don't want to. Okabe covers his face with his arms. Die in a place like this. Suddenly, the rider stops. Blue eyes peer at Okabe from behind a mask. Their eyes meet in confusion. Her eyes widen in surprise. She flies past the trembling Okabe on her dragon. He stares after her in shock. What the hell was that? A golden beam shoots between two warriors. Kira stands there, arm outstretched, having just fired the blast right in front of him. Kira glares and snaps at him. Useless trash like you needs to stay out of the way. Okabe's face is full of resignation as he watches his classmates move forward. The sight of them clashing with the warriors unfolds. It feels like a nightmare. Just a few hours ago, I really thought my normal, everyday life would just keep going on like always. Okabe looks at his hands, feeling utterly powerless. But I am completely helpless. The bodies of the two knights guarding the cage collapse. Kira watches the monsters fly away. It escaped. Kira looks up, his face covered in scratches. No. Gripping his sword, he looks around at his injured classmates. It just decided to spare us. Was that its goal all along? The scene shifts to Tun, resting his hand on his forehead in thought. Did the news of our knights being deployed elsewhere leak out? I never imagined the demons would attack like this. Lord Tun. Kira looks at Tun and says, Hashina's healing magic can't keep up. Tun inspects everyone's wounds. We will summon the medical team immediately. Everyone is heavily injured. Tun shoots a cold, piercing glare at Okabe. Except for one. Everyone's eyes lock onto him. He freezes. Dozio, clutching his severed arm, grabs Okabe and screams in rage. You useless piece of trash. Dozio screams in his face. You used us as meat shields, didn't you? That's not true. Dozio violently throws Okabe to the ground. Dozio's face is twisted with fury. Then why are you the only one without a single scratch? Voices of blame and criticism erupt from everyone. We were out there risking our lives. Okabe, did you just hide the whole time? If you can't even use a skill, you should have at least been a meat shield. You coward. Okabe tries to explain, but is met with pure contempt. No, shut up. Hateful faces glare down at him. Are you serious? That's just pathetic. He's on a whole other level of useless. What a coward. Just go die. Get lost. A flash of light appears above Okabe. Kira holds his sword to Okabe's neck, his face dead serious. That's what the whole class is thinking. I'll be the one to pass judgment on you. Okabe panics at the blade at his throat. Wait. Please, I don't have time for a coward's excuses. Okabe shuts his eyes, bracing for the end. Get out of my sight. Suddenly, Kira stops, trembling slightly. Is he actually going to kill him? Shinomiya speaks up calmly. Kira. Okabe sits there, staring at the suspended blade as she advises him. Doing that will make you a murderer. Kira retracts his sword under her cold gaze. Come on, Shinomiya. That's not what I meant. I meant this. Kira stands before the crowd and declares, You're expelled from this class. Everyone agrees in unison. Yeah. Get the hell out of here. Footsteps approach along with a voice. If that is what everyone wishes, I will handle this matter personally. Tun stands before him with an aristocratic air. I take no pleasure in this either, but this affects the morale of our heroes. The scene shifts to an eerie blue, monster-filled space with Tun and Okabe. The place I am about to send you is the Abyss. It's a filthy little dungeon, basically a garbage dump. But it's a paradise where you can play with all sorts of monsters. Tun sneers, lifting Okabe by the collar. Enjoy your final moments sightseeing in another world, you useless brat. Tun conjures a summoning circle. Okabe grimaces as he's held up by his neck. Even a pebble blocking the road needs to be swept away. Tun's face twists like a demon's. Go ahead and struggle inside your pathetic little walls. He drops Okabe into the summoning circle. Okabe reaches out, his face full of desperate pleading, until only his hands remain before sinking completely. He vanishes from Tun's sight. The others rejoice at getting rid of him. Shinomiya's eyes look faintly sad. The scene shifts to Okabe falling from a ring of light into total darkness. In the dark corner, a red-haired monster appears. The bloodshot-eyed beast is revealed, biting the head off another monster. Okabe's face drains of color and terror. You've got to be kidding me. The monster roars. It lunges at Okabe, who runs for his life. It crashes into the rock wall as he barely dodges the lethal strike. The beast thrashes around, searching for him. Okabe covers his mouth in terror, not daring to make a sound. What the hell is this? Where am I? Suddenly, another one appears right behind him. It lunges, injuring his arm. Okabe clutches his wound and glares at the monster, gripping his sword. Like hell, I'm dying in a place like this. Okabe swings his sword at its head, but the blade snaps. He falls backward from the momentum, only to see the foot of the first monster right next to his head. This is bad. I can't escape. He is now trapped between the two monsters like a piece of meat. He barely manages to dodge their finishing blow and runs, thinking desperately about power. If only. Okabe trips and falls flat on his face. The monster is about to unleash its attack. If only I had a skill. Okabe's face darkens. Suddenly, a blue shield materializes around him. The monster looks confused and touches the barrier. Okabe is just as shocked, staring at the shield and the beast. He suddenly remembers when the dragon-riding girl attacked him. Come to think of it, it happened back then too. Okabe kneels on one leg, his hand touching the ground. Could it be? He raises his hand, emitting a blue aura. I get it now. How to use this power. His hand continues to glow blue. Turns out, I had it all along. Okabe's eyes fill with resolve as he activates his skill. Right from the start, he steps toward the monster. My very own skill. Its eyes glow blood red. It kicks off the ground, charging at him. Okabe charges right back, projecting a shield toward it. Barrier. Deploy. The monster is blasted backward by Okabe's skill, its face contorted in pain. Okabe pierces straight through its body. He pants heavily, exhausted, as he watches it fall motionless. My skill is the power to create solid barriers. If the enemy is strong. Okabe raises his hand, radiating light, thinking of the people who threw him away. They will regret it. Then I just have to use their own strength against them. With this power. Are you serious? This is insane. This guy is on a completely different level. The cowardly, despicable faces of Kira's group flash in his mind. Trash. Okabe stands tall before the monsters. I can even make those bastards eat their words. The scene shifts to the beginning of the story, with Liana standing on a cliff. Liana stares into the distance, hands on her hips. I swear I'll make it out of here alive. In the dark dungeon, heavy breaths echo. Okabe, covered in rags, clings to the wall. How many days has it been? He pushes against the massive wall in front of him with both hands. Light slowly seeps in. Okabe's eyes fill with hope. I finally made it out. Standing before a dense forest shrouded in the night, his face drops in utter dismay. Okabe mutters helplessly. This place is like a damn sea of trees. A while later, he drags his exhausted body to a stream deeper inside. Okabe dunks his face into the water. A frog sits nearby, watching him silently. He lifts his head and stares at his reflection in the water. His eyes suddenly widen. That's right. He looks up at the starry sky, clenching his fist. I'm still alive. Okabe collapses onto the ground. The frog instinctively hops away. He raises his hand, creating a shield around himself. His fingers trace the grid patterns. If I didn't have this skill, I'd definitely be dead. Okabe lies there, exhausted, lost in thought. I'd definitely be dead. A few battles keep replaying in my head. My skill lets me create barriers. Kira, that popular guy, pushes everyone away with his light. And all I get are walls. I can create multiple barriers, and I can change their size, too. But it seems there's a limit to how many I can maintain at once. Okabe recalls his shattered barriers fading away. He sighs to himself. If it were now, maybe even my classmates would admit I'm useful. He then remembers Shinomiya, the others, and the things they said. Right? Like that would ever happen. Absolute trash. Coward. Go die. Get lost. Okabe lies on his side, letting out a self-deprecating chuckle. What the hell am I thinking? He stares at a small sprout in front of him. Useless. Coward. After all the garbage they spewed about me. Now, after all that. His eyes grow distant. In the end, getting involved with others is just a waste of effort. I've made up my mind. From now on, I'm living for myself. He then drifts off to sleep in the dark. The scene shifts to the next morning in the forest. A loud noise jolts Okabe awake. Okabe places his hand on his barrier and shouts, "What was that?" He uses his shields like a staircase, hurriedly running up them. A monster's roar? A massive explosion goes off in front of him. Okabe stares in shock. Are monsters fighting each other? "Mommy!" A loud scream startles Okabe. A kid's voice. Out here, in this forest. As he gets closer, Okabe is stunned. Before him are two beasts facing off. Beneath the white wolf's feet is a young cub. The white wolf glares at its enemy, baring its teeth. I never imagined the situation would be this bad. In front of it is a green lizard, radiating bloodlust. Pomera sobs and cries out, "Mommy!" Okabe frowns, watching from behind a tree. That voice from earlier was a monster? The green lizard raises its claws and suddenly lunges. The white wolf's eyes widen as she roars, "Get back!" The green lizard swings its claws, landing a brutal strike on her face. Okabe watches in horror as the cub is sent flying. He immediately puts up a shield to protect himself, frowning. I should just run. I already know how this goes. Okabe suddenly remembers his younger self. Playing the good guy only brings more trouble. He grits his teeth. Help me. Trying to help them. Okabe looks at the explosion behind him, rationalizing his fear. It's just fake kindness and self-satisfaction. There's no reason to throw myself into danger. Meanwhile, the green lizard relentlessly attacks the white wolf. In an instant, the white wolf collapses to the ground, covered in blood, her eyes closed. Pomera runs over, eyes brimming with tears. "Mommy!" The little cub lies on his mother, crying out, ignoring the green lizard looming behind him. "Mommy!" Its sharp claws reach out, aiming straight for the cub. Just in time, a clash rings out. Okabe has deployed his shield to block the attack, leaving both mother and child utterly shocked. The white wolf frowns, her voice trembling. A human child? Okabe remembers every single person who bullied him. His face darkens. His eyes burn with determination as he glares at the green lizard and roars. He slams his body hard into its stomach. The green lizard is knocked back by the heavy impact. Both Okabe and the white wolf stare it down. The white wolf shifts her gaze to him, making Okabe freeze. He looks down at his clenched fist and smiles. Can someone like me really be useful? A sudden blinding light catches his eye. The green lizard is gathering energy around its mouth for an attack. Its eyes glow blood red. A crimson beam forms in its jaws and fires. The blast surges forward. Okabe uses his shield to block it, surprised. A beam of light. Volleys of light shoot from the green lizard's mouth, hurtling straight at Okabe. He panics, struggling to hold his ground with the shield. Just a little more and Pomera is hit, his leg bleeding as he's sent flying. The white wolf roars in fury. "My child!" Okabe grits his teeth. "Damn it! I won't be able to hold out at this rate." Just then, the white wolf stands behind him. Boy! Right before Okabe's eyes, her entire body radiates a blue light. I always pay my debts. I take what is given. The white wolf's eyes reflect Okabe and return it tenfold. Seeing his bewildered expression, she says, "I will draw that monster's attention. When I do, take this child and run." He frowns, shouting with unwavering resolve, "You don't need to do that." At that moment, the green lizard's final attack arrives. The white wolf yells, "Boy!" Okabe's eyes are fierce, his shield crackling with lightning. Even this beam, I can reflect it. He grits his teeth and expands the shield. Multi-layered barrier. The light crashes into him. Okabe braces himself on one leg as layers of his shield shatter. The green lizard watches the shattered shield fragments fly over its head. Okabe plants his feet, his entire body tints behind the barrier in front of him. The red beam ricochets off the glass like panels and fires right back at it. It shrieks in agony. Okabe also drops to his knees, gasping for air, looking at the green lizard lying on the ground through the glass panel. I did it. He retracts the shield panels from earlier. So I can use it like this too. Just as I thought, I need to test out more ways to use it. Okabe clutches his shoulder, looking over at the white wolf and her cub lying there. The white wolf holds her child in her arms, looking at him. It seems this is as far as I go. No, Okabe replies. The white wolf's entire body glows again. She looks longingly at the child in her arms. Kind human child, please take care of this little one. Okabe is stunned as the white wolf's body gradually fades away. He reaches out, grasping at the tiny fading specks of light. I couldn't save them again. These wounds are too severe. Okabe kneels down, picking up the unconscious Pumera from the ground. I need to treat it right away. If only there was a town nearby. Okabe holds the cub in his arms, looking around. Pumera's entire body begins to emit a soft light. Tiny specks of light float into the air, leaving him amazed. What is this? Okabe walks through the deep green forest, thinking to himself, since then, I just kept walking, following the light. But the scenery around me hasn't changed at all. It feels like I'm getting nowhere. Suddenly, Okabe spots something that surprises him. He blurts out, a town. Okabe runs toward the town. Suddenly, a noise startles him. Turning around, he encounters 3 strange men. John, one of the group, calls out to him. Hey, did you just? He hesitates before continuing. Come out of the deep forest labyrinth? John explains, once you go in there, you never come back. That's a restricted area, you know that. Hearing this, Okabe thinks doubtfully. Is that forest really that dangerous? He looks at Pumera in his arms and asks the 3 men, hey, do you happen to have any healing ointment on you? If you could spare some, I'd really appreciate it. Kitten holds out a bottle of medicine and replies, I've got some right here. John immediately blurts out, hold on. He calculates in his head, no matter how you look at it. Okabe looks at him in confusion, while John secretly evaluates him. This guy doesn't look like an adventurer at all. John smiles dangerously and says, I'll share some with you. Sure, but you're not getting it for free. Hearing this, Okabe silently agrees, thinking, he has a point. But I really don't have anything valuable on me. Suddenly, his eyes widen in shock, staring at a round, pearl-like orange gem in Okabe's hand. He says, that. The 3 men start surrounding Okabe, speaking maliciously. That thing. Trade it for this. Seeing this, Okabe says, if this is all it takes, then I'm very grateful. Liana calls out from behind. Are you crazy? She steps up and explains, that's amber tree sap, solidified at an extremely high density. Liana points at it and says, that's a rare grade 5 material. She continues, those cheap, low-grade jars of ointment don't even come close to the value of this thing. Hearing this, Okabe thinks to himself, but I just found it by accident. Seeing his good deal ruined, John yells, hey, you, are you trying to ruin our business? Suddenly, the 3 men glare at her with malicious intent. They eye Liana's body and comment, that face, that body, absolutely perfect. Aiden charges forward, shouting, hey, instead, we can use you as trading material. His sword is kicked into the air by Liana. Then she gathers momentum and kicks Kitten squarely in the body. She follows up by punching Aiden right in the face. John mutters from behind, this bitch. He lunges to attack, but she easily dodges. She then counters with a powerful strike of her own. She looks at them with eyes full of disgust and says, I'm sick of beating up thugs like you. Okabe sweats nervously from behind, thinking, she took down a fully armed guy barehanded. Liana turns to Okabe and says, I don't know what sheltered corner you crawled out of, but consider this a lesson. Don't trust people so easily. He calls after her, please wait. Okabe says, you really did me a huge favor. Thank you. Liana replies nonchalantly, at least let me give you something. I told you I don't need it. I didn't come here to make friends. Okabe adds, sorry about that. He then turns to comfort Pumera. I'll treat you right now. Just hold on a little longer. Seeing this, Liana lets out a sigh. She walks away, saying, do whatever you want. I'm on my way home anyway. Hearing this, Okabe's face lights up with joy. Liana's scream echoes, the deep forest labyrinth? She asks Okabe in shock, you escaped that death trap all by yourself? What the hell are you? Okabe recounts, you might find this hard to believe, but I came here from. She finishes his sentence, another world. I see. He asks, you're not surprised? Liana replies while tending to Pumera, it's pretty normal. People from other worlds aren't that rare around here. Hearing this, he thinks, so we aren't the only ones summoned here. Pumera suddenly speaks up, Mommy, your baby. Liana is startled and asks, this little guy can talk? You're awake. Pumara slowly opens its eyes. The cub looks at Okabe and struggles to say, "You're the one who saved me." The cub looks back and forth between Liana and him. Okabe says sadly, "I couldn't save your mother. I'm sorry." As soon as he finishes speaking, Pumara bursts into tears. The cub cries sadly, "Mommy." Liana looks at the cub with deep pity, thinking, "This little one lost its mother too?" Liana speaks up, "Anyway, I've finished treating you. How does your body feel?" Pumara bows its head and says, "I'm okay now. Thank you so much, miss." Hearing this, Liana smiles in satisfaction. Okabe also says, "You really saved us." Liana says, "Come to think of it, I still haven't told you my name." She begins to introduce herself. "I'm Liana Linda. And you?" Okabe smiles and replies, "I'm Minato Okabe." Next, he asks Pumara, "Do you have a name too?" The cub hesitates. "Name? The cub recalls its past with its mother. "My baby. My sweet baby." The cub continues, "I'm a magical beast, so I don't have one of those." Okabe asks curiously, "So what species are you?" Liana replies, "I have no idea either." She ponders, "But I feel like I've seen her somewhere before." The cub mutters a few names. Plym. Mte. Portis. B. Looks a bit like a Pomeranian. Okabe thinks to himself. He asks Pumara, "How about Pumara?" Liana complains, "Isn't that a bit too lazy for a name?" The cub suddenly jumps up. Pumara says happily, "Yes. From now on, I am Pumara. Please call me Pumara, master." Liana and Okabe stare blankly, then both burst into giggles. He says, "Looks like he likes the name." Okabe asks, "By the way, why were you attacked? Don't magic beasts usually avoid attacking each other?" Pumara replies sadly, "I don't know either." The little guy starts explaining. "We all used to live together peacefully, but more and more of them are going crazy." Okabe replies, "I see." He thinks to himself, he lost his mom and got chased out of his home, so he's all alone now too. Liana speaks up, "What about you two? What are you going to do next?" Okabe answers seriously, "I have something I need to do." "You're trash. Weakling. And to do that, I first need to figure out how this world works." He turns to the little guy and adds, "Plus, I can't just abandon Pumara." Hearing this, Pumara is touched and cries out, "Master." The two start playing around. Liana chimes in, "If you keep this up, you'll starve to death out here. I'll teach you how to survive in this world." Okabe replies, "Thanks. You're nicer than you look." Liana says shyly, "Don't get the wrong idea. I'm just doing this on a whim." A dim yellow light glows in the night. Suddenly, two strangers kick the door open and barge in. Saito says, "In games, you usually recruit party members at the tavern." Tezuka adds, "I wonder if there are any hot mage chicks around." Everyone in the tavern stares at them. Tezuka slams his hand on the bar. "Hey, you heard us, right? Hurry up and show us around." The bartender stammers, "Excuse me, who are you gentlemen?" Saito says arrogantly, "Us? We're heroes from another world." Saito and Tezuka smirk wickedly, speaking in unison. "If this is a game, then we're the main characters." Liana stands with her hands on her hips, looking proud. She watches Okabe playing with Pumara and smiles. "Looks pretty good. It suits you perfectly, master." Okabe remembers the yellow gem and chuckles awkwardly. "I never thought that amber gem would sell for so much." Liana inspects an armored helmet in her hands. Next up is armor and a shield. Okabe turns his head, reminding her, "I don't need any more gear." She immediately retorts, "Skimping on equipment is something you'll regret later." He replies, "This is more than enough." Liana holds the two items, looking a bit embarrassed. "Well, it's not like I have the right to lecture her anyway." Okabe looks at her standing in front of him, waving his hand. "Where to next?" Liana answers cheerfully, "There's only one place. The place where adventurers go to get jobs, right?" A while later, the two walk down the street, chatting. "The Adventurers Guild?" Liana explains. "What exactly do adventurers do anyway?" "Hunt monsters and all sorts of odd jobs, but the main focus is dungeon exploration." Okabe recalls the monsters in the dungeon and asks, "I still don't get it. What's so great about a place like that?" She keeps a casual expression. "What do you think allowed humans, who originally couldn't use magic, to prosper so much?" He ponders. "Even in another world, I still can't use it." He guesses, Knowledge, maybe? Palmyra immediately thinks of food. I bet it's something tasty. Liana puts her hands on her hips and gives the answer. It's magic. Okabe exclaims, hey. She grabs the pouch at her side. Items that allow you to use the magic sealed inside them. Right in front of Okabe, she slowly pulls something out. Liana pulls out a massive ham hock, leaving Okabe and Palmyra amazed. They're called magic tools. The little guy drools and flies over to the ham hock Liana is holding. Something tasty. Okabe watches the kid happily gnawing on it and says, I get it. So basically, dungeons are places filled with those things. Liana winks. Bingo. She holds the ham hock while Palmyra eats, wondering aloud. I mean, you made it through that forest, so you must be pretty strong, right? The little guy happily replies between bites. Master is super strong. Liana's voice turns mysterious. Right? Then this is absolutely perfect. She looks at Okabe and shouts excitedly. I'm going to become the greatest adventurer in the world. Liana points the bone at a smiling Okabe. And I'll let you lend me a hand. The scene shifts to a building in town. As soon as they walk through the door, a voice rings out. We can't take any requests. Up ahead, two men are giving the receptionist a hard time. You do realize a hero is offering to work for you, right? The tavern sent us here, so what's the deal? Hey. Okabe observes them and realizes, those guys. Are they Tezuka and Saito? A brief introduction of the two men. Tezuka Soto left the baseball club after a brawl over a retaliatory pitch. Saito Masaki left the baseball club after being disciplined for intentionally hitting a batter. He recalls the brawl at the baseball game. Ever since they left the team over that scandal. They used to be pretty quiet guys, but... The receptionist asks nervously, like I said, do you have your Adventurer Guild cards? Tezuka leans over the counter and growls. I told you. I'm a hero. Damn it. The girl tries to explain. Even if you are heroes, we can't let people without cards take requests. Saito slams his hand on the desk, terrifying the receptionist. Shut up and just do it already. Okabe's voice rings out, making the two turn around. That's enough. Stop it. Tezuka glares pompously. Who the hell are you? Then he stares in shock at the person standing before him. Wait. Okabe. You're still alive, you bastard? Liana frowns, confused. You know him? He gives a short nod. Tezuka's face turns perverted as he leers. Hey, Okabe. Who's the chick next to you? She's crazy cute. He looks Liana up and down, evaluating her. And she's got a massive rack, too. Saito is just as creepy. I want to squeeze him. Liana glares at them sharply, as if looking at bugs. You guys are disgusting. I hate perverts like you more than anything in the world. Tezuka glares back angrily. Feisty. Instantly, two disembodied hands appear out of thin air right in front of Liana's chest. She shrieks in panic, staring at the two things grabbing her breasts. Liana swats the hands away and covers her chest. What is wrong with these hands? Tezuka laughs maniacally. This is the best. Saito stands behind him, his face twisted in praise. Tezuka's skill is so overpowered. Suddenly, his floating hand is grabbed. Tezuka's eyes widen in shock. Okabe glares at him furiously with half-lidded eyes. Do you really think you can do whatever you want just because this is another world? Tezuka's face contorts with utter contempt. You useless piece of trash. Don't get cocky. Twin kill, twin hands. Right then, his magical hands sprout from the ground. The people inside the building scramble to flee. We're doomed. He's one of those reincarnated guys. Run. Die. Tezuka screams, thrusting his hand forward. As if receiving a signal, the magical hand lunges straight at Okabe. He activates his shield, blocking right in front of him as the hand strikes. In a split second, two fingers on Tezuka's hand are bent backward, drawing blood and making him scream. Okabe recalls his sick prank from earlier. His eyes are cold. If the sensation is transferred, then so is the pain. Just as I thought. Seeing his friend lose, Saito furiously picks up a pebble from the ground and stands up, planting his feet. How dare you do that to Tezuka? He stands up, goes into a baseball pitching motion, and hurls golden magic straight at Okabe. Soul-stealing death pitch. Okabe shouts, reflect. But the magic pierces right through the shield and smashes into the wall behind him. He yells in surprise, what? A hole is blown through the wall. Okabe is bewildered. I can't reflect solid objects. Saito raises his arm again, preparing to throw another magic attack. Die! Instantly, a golden streak hurtles straight at Okabe. His eyes lock onto the incoming magic as he thinks. If the reflection mirror doesn't work. This time, Okabe uses the same magic he used against the green lizard. Multi-layered transformation shield. Just as the shield opens, the golden magic slams into it, trying to pierce through. Okabe frowns, bracing himself. He plants his feet and shoves the shield forward. Rebound. Take this. Hit by the rebound from his shield, the two of them scream in pain. A massive explosion goes off right inside the building. In front of Tezuka and Saito, who are slumped on the ground, Okabe stands obscured by the smoke. He frowns, his face as cold as ice. Well, was that all of your power? Saito groans in pain. You were supposed to be useless. He growls, answer me. Okabe grabs Saito by the collar and interrogates him. Did you two come to this town alone? Where are Kira and the others? He answers obediently. How should I know? Defeating the demon lord sounded like a pain, so we just bailed. That's all. He then passes out from fear. Okabe's eyes darken with killing intent. So they aren't too far from here. The sound of applause from behind catches him completely off guard. Palmer jumps up excitedly. Just as expected, Master is invincible. The receptionist also claps in praise. You saved us. Thank you so much. Liana hugs herself, looking embarrassed as she evaluates him. You're better than I thought. Just then, someone steps forward with a compliment. Blocking attacks like that is no joke. Well done, kid. Both Liana and Okabe glance over in surprise at the source of the voice. It's Gracer walking toward them. That defensive capability, and your sharp instincts too. He holds out his hand, smiling as he makes an offer. I'd love for you to join us. I have a job that's absolutely perfect for you. Gracer smiles at Okabe. I have a job offer. Want to join us? It's a very good deal. Gracer stands there. He is the leader of the B-rank party, PR. There's a dungeon where a teleportation magic tool was found, Gracer says. Okabe is surprised. Teleportation? At that moment, the man standing behind Gracer speaks up. Someone looks at him and sneers. It's obvious he's only here for Liana. Introducing the two behind Gracer, B-rank party vice captain, Samon. Min Valentar. Miter also smiles and chimes in. Just give it up. You should know your own limits. Gracer looks awkward. Don't tell me you're only inviting us because you're short on vanguards. Liana frowns in confusion. You know these guys? She crosses her arms and replies. He's as clingy as a leech. Sorry, but we're going in with just the two of us. Samon puts an arm around a deflated Gracer. Shot down flat again. Miter looks surprised. He never learns, does he? Gracer cries dramatically. You're so cruel, Liana. I've invited you so many times, and you reject me every single time. Liana yells, shut up. You're too annoying. Gracer lowers his voice. This is the first time you've partied up with someone since then, isn't it? Okabe is surprised. Since when? Samon glances back. Since Liana's old party was wiped out. Miter adds on. Not a single one made it back alive. A flashback shows a massive monster taking the lives of many. The voice of the person next to him catches Okabe's attention. I still invite you all the time, though. Samon frowns, glancing over. Inviting a party killer like her. You've got guts. Gracer immediately defends her. In this line of work, things like that happen all the time. Liana leans slightly, her eyes filled with sorrow. I just couldn't save them. Right after, she says, if you're worried, feel free to go with them. Okabe thinks to himself, party killer? What a bunch of scumbags. His eyes darken as he remembers the moments he fought alongside Liana. But Okabe clenches his fist, his eyes full of determination. I'm going with Liana. In Okabe's eyes, only her silhouette remains. I trust my own eyes more than some stupid rumors. Hearing his words, Liana blushes deeply out of embarrassment. He glances at the two guys in front of him, thinking, if we get good results as a party, that'll shut them up. He then looks at the three members in front of him. The more witnesses, the better. Let's bring Gracer's whole group along. Okabe's mind is made up. I'm also pretty curious about that teleportation magic tool. Gracer is thrilled, his face flushed. I was planning on going with you anyway. This makes Liana even more embarrassed. Fine. Liana's loud shout echoes through the building. Do whatever you want. A while later, The group steps out of the building. A large crowd has gathered ahead, watching demons bound in iron chains marching in a line. Palmer looks a bit sad. How awful. Liana glances over. Demon prisoners. Gracer, standing nearby, speaks up. Considering the number of humans they've slaughtered, I think this is only natural. Watching the demons move, someone suddenly says, "Hey, isn't that woman over there human?" They look at the black-haired woman walking differently in the line. That one is either a human corrupted by demonic influence or a demon disguised as a human. Okabe is bewildered. Disguised? Mika explains briefly. There's an old folktale about it. If you keep doing bad things, you'll turn into a demon. Saman stands behind, making a spooky gesture. Gracer watches intently. A child turned into a demon to take their place. That's quite the nightmare of a fairy tale. Liana stands nearby, her eyes filled with sorrow. Those children are trying to say they aren't demons. Just then, a demon with blue eyes walks past. She notices where Okabe is standing. The demon's eyes are hollow, her arms wrapped in bandages. Please, God. Her small hands reach out toward him, making Okabe freeze. Save me. He looks into those lifeless eyes, thinking, even if they're the enemy, treating them like this. He looks at her torn hands. It's just too much. Okabe reaches his hand out toward her. But right then, Liana screams, Minato. Right before Okabe's eyes, the demon girl's head is severed. Stop. A scream rings out. Blood splatters across his vision. Gracer is the one who swung the sword without hesitation. Don't do it, Minato. No matter how pitiful they look. Okabe takes a step back, staring at the scene before him. Gracer glances over, his eyes sharp, his voice filled with hatred. There's nothing we can do for them anyway. They are demons. Murderers. Okabe stares in horror at Gracer's blood-soaked sword. What is this? They were just crying. He watches the image blur before his eyes. Why is something like this happening as if it's completely normal? What did that demon even do? Okabe covers his mouth, his voice trembling. Someone sneers. Who knows? Mika explains, just existing is a crime in itself. He questions it. Is killing them like that really the only option? Liana pats his back, her eyes sorrowful as she turns away. Let's keep moving. Behind them, a person in black takes a cloth to cover the unfortunate demon. Her eyes remain wide open in sorrow. A while later, everyone is walking through the dungeon. Gracer glances around. We've come quite a long way. Just then, a giant rat suddenly lunges out with a loud roar. Okabe uses his shield to block it. Liana walks ahead, ignoring the lively chatter of the group behind her. At this rate, there won't be anything left for me to do. I knew my intuition about you wasn't wrong. I always thought you'd make incredible progress. Miter teases, you always know exactly what to say, huh? A while later, Okabe moves up to walk alongside Liana. He says, Hey, Liana. The whole. Liana tilts her head back slightly and asks, The whole adventurer's manifesto? She continues, Rule number 1. You must cherish dead ends, for treasure always lies just beyond them. Okabe gives her a helpless look. Is this an RPG? Okabe asks. Liana, why did you become an adventurer? Liana's eyes lower. It's the fastest way to make a name for yourself. He asks further. Does becoming famous really mean that much to you? She spreads her arms as if it's obvious. If I become the most famous person in the world, someone will find me. I'm sure of it. He looks confused. Who? Liana remembers her mother. I want my mom to find me. Okabe frowns, feeling a pang of guilt. Maybe I shouldn't have pried so much. She turns her head to look at him and asks, Aren't you going to laugh at me? Okabe, walking behind her, looks bewildered. Is there something funny about that? Is there? Liana shyly hurries forward and snaps. Not at all. Gracer suddenly appears next to Okabe and asks quietly, You're not gonna laugh? With a punchable face, he whispers, No way. Okabe sighs helplessly. We just met. Okabe says honestly, I think she's the person I owe the most to. More than anything else. Gracer ponders, looking surprised. Is that so? When he looks up, Gracer's eyes have grown several degrees colder. Thank God it's not too late. Okabe is still clueless about what's happening. Gracer's hand presses hard on a hidden switch on the wall. The entire path Liana is walking on suddenly collapses, leaving her stunned. Staring at the empty space beneath her feet, she panics and screams, "What?" Liana is violently pulled down by gravity. Gracer smirks, holding his arm out to block Okabe, who is standing behind him, screaming, "Liana!" Gracer's face contorts into a deeply satisfied smile. Okabe steps away from him and yells, "Why?" He turns his head, his voice completely calm. "That was a close one, Minato." Right after, he smiles with absolute sincerity. "I'm really glad I was here to save you." Gracer smiles happily. "I'm just glad I made it in time to save you." However, Okabe remains on guard against him. He asks, "What do you mean? Weren't you Liana's friend? Or was that all just talk?" Gracer laughs heartily. "I think that's enough chatting." He bites his own hand until it bleeds. Those things are just in the way. Gracer's blood drips onto a strange cube in his hand. He drops the object, letting it free fall. Our party, Castro, and Liana's party, Clever Hans, both started at the same time as promising rookies. But no matter how well we did, they were always one step ahead. The ones everyone always talked about were Liana and her party. If no one paid attention to us, it was because of them. Then, one day, we obtained a magic tool with a monster sealed inside. The thing inside was far beyond the control of rookies like us. It was the kind of monster that even an A-rank party would struggle to defeat. Having it in our hands felt like a sign from the heavens. Gracer happily holds the object, ignoring his party members walking away. As he drips blood onto it, Gracer's body is enveloped in a purple aura. The one-horned demon emerges from the cube, making him even more ecstatic. Snapping out of his flashback, Gracer maniacally reveals his entire plan. "So I used it, and lured them into a trap." Hearing this, Pomera feels disgusted. How gross. Gracer returns to his suave demeanor, brushing his hair back, completely different from his power-crazed state just moments ago. But even so, Liana made it back alive. So ever since then, I've just been waiting for the chance to kill her. So really, I should be thanking you, Minato. Thanks to you, I got to tag along. And now, that makes you my accomplice. You're a smart guy. I'm sure you know what you should do next, right? Pomera calls out warily, "Master." He replies to Gracer, "You're right." Elsewhere, Liana has just landed after her fall. She stands up, looking around in confusion. Suddenly, a strange black smoke surrounds her. The black smoke morphs into a massive arm, lunging to attack Liana. But she luckily dodges it. Liana is bewildered. Why? Why is that thing here? The one-horned demon appears, ready to attack her. A-rank monster, giant demon, one-horned demon. Liana is in a panic. An A-rank monster. There's no way I can handle this on my own. She thinks in despair. Is this my punishment? That moment reminds Liana of her childhood days with her mother. Back then, her mother warned her, "You must absolutely never use that power where people can see you. If you do, we won't be able to live here anymore." Though young Liana didn't understand and felt scared, she replied, "Okay." She explained to her, "But if there ever comes a day when you need it to protect someone you cherish, then don't hesitate. Use it." Liana looked at her mother with newfound hope. The memory quickly shifts. This time, it's when Liana and her party encountered the beast. We might actually be dead this time. They lamented. "Oh man, I was planning to get married after this mission. This is the first I'm hearing of it. Don't go setting up death flags at a time like this." The party leader resolved. "Well then, I have no choice but to make it back alive." Liana stepped forward without an ounce of fear. "I'll handle this somehow." She bravely faced the monster in front of her, making everyone worry. Liana. She used her power, causing her entire body to glow. But instead of excitement or hope, they looked at her with sheer terror. Liana was still hesitant. "If I use this power..." Yet, they screamed. "Monster!" Terrified of her, they hurled insults. "Get back. No. Stay away from me." Even the mage girl tried to attack Liana. The magic blast struck her, sending her crashing down in pain. Fallen on the ground, Liana was terrified. The punches kept raining down relentlessly. The one-horned demon continued its assault on Liana. She was heartbroken. Why? Liana felt the crushing realization. That's right. No one will ever accept a cursed being like me. Tears rolled down her face as Liana, in utter despair, wanted to give up on everything. "Maybe I should just die here. I'm sorry, Mom." Just then, a blinding light appeared. The expected pain never came, making Liana curiously open one eye. She is shocked to see Okabe and Pomura protecting her. Liana stammers, "Why?" Okabe is confused. "Why what? We're a party, aren't we?" She awkwardly explains. "How can you say that? We just met." He observes, "You're just clumsy and soft-hearted." Liana is taken aback. Okabe continues, "You talk like you're cold and distant. But I don't know how sheltered of a life you've lived, but take this as a lesson not to trust people so easily. In the end, you still couldn't abandon someone in trouble. Don't get the wrong idea. It was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. That's all. A guy like you. I just don't think you'd abandon or betray your comrades." Liana scolds him playfully. "You idiot. What if I'm just acting? What if I'm actually a demon disguised as a human?" He answers bluntly, "Then you're a terrible actor. You just didn't want to drag me into this, right? Besides, human or demon, that doesn't matter to me. What matters is whether I want to trust you or not." She is moved to tears. Okabe's words reignite her will to fight. "And right now, I want to trust you." Meanwhile, the one-horned demon is still trying to break through the defense. Terrified, Pomura hides in the corner, watching him. Okabe is also reaching his limit. "How the hell are we supposed to beat this thing? But if I'm with you, we might actually have a chance." Liana is still anxious. "If I show them that form, I might be betrayed again. Even so, what matters is whether I want to trust them or not. And right now I do." She resolves herself, taking off her cloak as if unlocking her power. Okabe also slowly drops his defense. She says with determination, "Minato, I'll show you. Only you." She remembers her mother's words again. "But if there ever comes a day when you need it." Her mother smiled at her. "To protect someone you cherish, then don't hesitate. Use it." Liana has made up her mind. She removes her cloak, unleashing her power. Spirit dress. Release. The sparkling power makes Pomura watch in awe. Liana sheds her human form, transforming into an elf. Liana enters her transformed state. Spirit dress. Her usual brown hair turns into a radiant blonde. Her human ears elongate like an elf's. Her turquoise eyes shift to a deep blue. A Liana with a brand new appearance emerges. Pomura blushes. Release. Okabe freezes for a few seconds. A demon? No. She's beautiful. Looking at her makes him blush in embarrassment. Seeing both of them staring at her, Liana feels shy. "Say something." He stammers. It's just, you look strong." Liana feels a pang of hurt. More than just that. She stubbornly charges forward, wanting to break free from her psychological trauma. Her sudden rush makes Okabe worry. "Hey, calm down, okay?" Ignoring him, Liana dashes past, ready to fight. He calls after her. "Wait, shouldn't you say something else?" She lands a strike right across the one-horned demon's neck, using all her strength to take it down. It shrieks in pain. Liana doesn't forget to scold him. "What? What kind of reaction was that?" Okabe awkwardly explains. "I was complimenting you." Still, she pouts. "I'll just assume that's what you meant." The ghosts in her heart seem to fade as Okabe voices his thoughts. "Don't come near me. No. I want to trust you, and that's enough for me. I'm really glad I chose to trust you." The one-horned demon crashes to the ground in pain. Liana looks at it, thinking, "We won't get anywhere unless we break through that outer shell." Okabe also shares his perspective. A frontal assault won't work. They come up with a joint plan. Then, it's time to use magic. He asks worriedly, "Can you still use it?" Liana answers calmly, "In this form, yes." She continues her fierce battle with it. A shout rings out. Liana throws a punch at it. The punch carries Liana's power straight into the one-horned demon, injuring the area under its arm. Seeing Liana drop to her knees, Okabe worries. "Are you okay?" Though exhausted, she remains stubborn. "I can't keep firing continuously like that anymore." He looks concerned. "But with firepower like that," Okabe reassures her, "we have a chance. I'll create an opening. Then, hit it with everything you've got, okay? Liana, can you do it?" 5 minutes. That's how long I need to gather my power." Pomura chimes in, shocked. 5 minutes. Against a monster like that. Okabe says confidently, "That's more than enough." The one-horned demon glares at her with even more hatred. It lunges to attack her, but is blocked by him. "I'll trust you." The defensive shield bounces it away. Okabe yells, "Your opponent is me." The one-horned demon furiously grabs a boulder. It hurls it violently at the three of them. Seeing them unharmed makes it even angrier. It uses its head to charge at them. Not her. This time, it knows to use its horn to pierce the shield. The one-horned demon doesn't stop, pushing forward, shattering a chunk of the sturdy shield. What? Okabe tries to repel it, but the one-horned demon stubbornly rams into him, injuring him. Pomura cries out in worry, "Master!" Okabe's arm is injured. He starts to panic. This is bad. It figured out how to counter the rebound. And on top of that, I've used up too much power. I haven't even stalled for 3 minutes yet. At this rate, I won't be able to take another hit. Think. There has to be some way to restrain it. The one-horned demon slowly destroys the shield. In mere moments, it shatters it completely. Okabe seizes the moment. This is it. He calculates his move. Everything I have left goes into this wall. Okabe uses his last bit of strength to hold it back. As he swings his arm, pillars crash down. Fortunately, this time he manages to restrain the one-horned demon. Okabe anticipates the strike. Now, Liana charges fiercely. This punch likely carries every last drop of her strength. He cheers her on. Do it. The punch carries the ghosts and painful past of Liana. All the regrets of my past. That, if this keeps up, she'll bleed to death. Liana attacks with full force. Thunderbolt. The powerful lightning bolt makes the one-horned demon roar in agony. The sheer force of the strike forces Okabe and Pomura to brace themselves. The wind dies down, and the smoke clears. He asks hopefully, "Did we get it?" The massive monster's corpse lies slumped at Liana's feet. Little Pomura praises them. "That was amazing. Both of you." At this point, completely drained of energy, she collapses. Liana. Okabe luckily catches her before she hits the ground. Liana slowly opens her eyes. She asks worriedly, "Hey, your shoulder. Are you okay?" "If you're worrying about someone else." The rumbling of the ground catches their attention. "You're the last person who should be worrying about others." The dungeon is collapsing. "I'm sorry. This is all my fault. We won because of you, Liana. Let's go." Okabe carries Liana on his back, running fast with the little guy before the dungeon caves in. Massive boulders plummet rapidly, threatening to trap all three of them. Unluckily, a boulder crushes their exit. Pomura cries in fear again. "Pomura is gonna die of shock in here. Why are you two still so calm?" "You're right. I still want to eat. Lots of tasty food." Okabe looks at the kid in disbelief. Liana also shifts her motivation. "Tasty food. But at least, in the end, I got to go on an adventure with you, Minato. You're going to become a world-class adventurer, right?" Those words snap her wide awake. Liana blushes, looking at him. To her surprise, Okabe scoops up Pomura and makes a run for it. "Master." She was also stunned. "Minato." Okabe also recalled his oath from back then. "I swear, being expelled from that class only means one thing. I will never abandon my comrades." That made him even more determined, even as the rocks continued to plummet around them. Above ground, heavy, exhausted panting echoed steadily. "Those bastards." Jason angrily slammed his fist into the wall. With his face swollen from Okabe's beating, he cursed, "I'll never forgive them. I only got to come along because of you." In the dungeon, he had used their numbers to bully them. "Okabe, you're my accomplice now. You're smart. I'm sure you know what to do." "Master." Pomura agreed. "You're right." Okabe scolded them, "Idiots." He quickly rushed forward to attack them. However, Jason still underestimated him. "Don't get cocky. Those bastards can stay down there and beg on their knees." Okabe dashed in, delivering a solid blow to everyone in his party. He urged, "Pomura, let's go." The kid ran fast. "Understood, master." "You pervert." Below the dungeon entrance, a magic circle appeared from high above. Okabe, Pomura, and the other fell freely. Luckily, her chest ended up pressed right against his face. Liana opened her eyes and looked around. She looked down shyly. Liana shyly punched Okabe. "Pervert." The kid, caught in a tree branch, asked, "So we really made it out? Are you two hurt anywhere?" Okabe was still daydreaming. "Just now," she explained. "You really lost your mind, you know that? You only succeeded because we found a teleportation tool. What you did back there was way too reckless." Master. He rushed forward, wanting to escape the dungeon. Minato. Approaching a painting of a woman, Okabe quickly grabbed the exquisite necklace. A light immediately shone from the painting, and they escaped just like before. Liana scolded. That was practically suicide. He calmly rescued the kid stuck in the branch. Anyway, I'm starving. Liana, cold on the outside but warm on the inside, offered. I guess I have no other choice. I'll take you to my favorite place. I can't wait. After they finished eating, it started getting dark. The steak here is absolutely top tier. Even the name sounds great. Suddenly, a rock hit her on the head. Liana looked up in surprise. The culprit was still holding another rock. Hey kid. He stood in front of them both. The kid said bluntly. Earlier, Grace said so. That you're a demon. Okabe quickly dragged her away. Let's save the party for later. Night fell once again. At the inn, the lights flickered on. Jason's group and the others were there, ready to pass judgment. You've got some nerve showing your face here, Liana. Liana looked at them warily. They interrogated her. We saw it with our own eyes. This woman's true nature is a demon. And then, she even tried to kill us to silence us. That bastard is her accomplice too. So she really is a demon who murders her own comrades. And an actual demon at that. Okabe also felt the tension. This is bad. If we mess this up, everyone here will become our enemy. Besides, we just got back from the dungeon. We're in no condition to fight right now. He remembered the words from back then. You are expelled from this class. My goal is to get revenge on my classmates. But, what should I do now? Jason continued his attack. No one is going to believe a demon who killed her own comrades. It's over for you, Liana. He looked at her. Okabe defended her. No, just blindly following the crowd like this is pure trash. If I do that, I'm no better than them. He spoke from his heart, whether she's a demon or whatever else. Liana is still my comrade. Get lost. I'll prove that they're the ones in the wrong. Even if it means going against everyone in this room, or even the whole world. I will never betray my comrade. Liana looked at him in surprise. She realized, I get it now. Memories played back like a movie. If I become the most famous person in the world, she'll definitely find me. Human or demon, it doesn't matter. The person I'm truly looking for is. It's about whether I want to trust them or not. Touched, she gripped his shirt. Someone else stepped forward. Hey. He looked down at Okabe, then said with amusement, I like you, kid. The Adventurer's Creed. Rule number 2. Never betray a comrade. There is no treasure more precious than trust. Between someone who stays and protects their comrades to the bitter end. And you cowards, who ran away and scurried back here first. It's pretty obvious who's acting like a true adventurer. Right, Grace? Jason tried to justify himself. This is insane. Are you seriously taking that demon side? He shot back. If she's a demon, why didn't you just kill her on the spot? That's because that brat got in the way. So even with more people, you still lost? And on top of that, you're saying the demons just let you escape? Sounds like your demons are awfully nice. Okabe stated firmly. If anyone almost died, it was Liana. Because of that monster you guys summoned with that magic tool. Her old party was wiped out the exact same way. Another girl stepped forward. Now that you mention it, you were exploring that same dungeon that day too, weren't you? Right, he stammered. That was just a coincidence. Don't pin this on me. Do you have any proof it was the same trick? Okabe calmly pulled out the item Jason had hidden. This is a demon sealing box. He explained. It's a magic tool that uses the user's blood as a catalyst. Just appraise it, and we'll know exactly who used it. Hearing this, Jason panicked and lunged forward, knocking the girl down. Stop it right now. The mirror fell. He lay pathetically at the feet of everyone in the room. Jason turned pale, meeting the gazes of pure disgust directed at him. He screamed in anger. Don't look at me. Like that. Jason furiously took it out on Liana. If it weren't for you, things wouldn't have turned out like this. His attack was swiftly blocked by Okabe. He stated clearly, it's over. She rushed toward him. Liana furiously lunged forward to attack. She knocked down the members of his party. The other girl also spoke up, to the members of Clever Hans. Will Casport. According to the Adventurers Guild regulations, your licenses are officially revoked as of this moment, and you are permanently expelled. Jason finally felt true fear. No, you can't just erase everything we've built over the years. They were dragged away by the guards, looking utterly pathetic. Get up. The subsequent trial will be handed over to the kingdom, but you'll never see the light of day again. After it was over, Okabe left, making Liana wonder, "Are you leaving town already?" He replied, "My enemies are my classmates, and all those who call themselves heroes. With what happened to Tezuka's group here, rumors are bound to spread. If they all come looking for me at once, it'll be a huge pain." She offered, "It's time to disappear. I wouldn't mind tagging along, you know. Do you realize that means making an enemy out of all humanity? Just say it straight. Even if the whole world turns its back on you, we're still comrades." Okabe looked at her in astonishment for a long time. Right. He didn't hesitate to say, "If that's the case, I want to head toward the demon territory. And I want your help, Liana." Liana blushed with joy. "If you're begging me that much, I guess I have no choice. Pomera will come with you too." "Thank you. I look forward to traveling with you." The two happily walked and chatted together. "It's official this time, right?" Suddenly, he sensed something. A voice came from out of nowhere, making them turn around. "Okay, no way." Were we followed? Okabe watched in silence. In the wind, a beautiful girl appeared. "Shinomiya." Shinomiya asked him dangerously, "Is Oken an enemy of demons or an enemy of humanity?"